let's get this over with. Mark Twain's The Adventures of Tom Sawyer. Chapter 21 to conclusion. Now here we are, chapter 21 to conclusion. And right now we have loads of things to talk about. So, and so from here, they go back home. And they found out the situation. Everyone thinks they're drowned, so they're like being frantic, and they were surprised that they're frantically searching for them for the last 3 days. And so like that happened. And then they're like, oh my gosh, his aunt is affected the most. And it's like, let's just go back home. And they're like, nah, we're just gonna stay here. Okay, we're gonna go home. And they eventually go back home. And they find out things about Injun Joe and about his past. And after they found about more things about his past, lots of weird things start happening. Becky's back, however, she still spurns Tom away because, like, And then, like, after the incident of him taking her whipping, she's like, yay, you're back. And so she's back, she likes him again. Boom, Tom's a good boy. He's a good boy, not a bad boy anymore. And that happens. Next thing is that Becky and Tom somehow like get stuck in the cave where Injun Joe is, and Injun Joe's like, aha, I gotta kill ya! He's like a mad guy now. He's like mad, literally, not like anger mad, but like in Korean we call it michasa. Which basically means crazy. Like, he's crazy in the mind, so he basically kill anyone. I also believe that he still has Potter's knife. That happens, and then Tom is like, oh, what are we gonna do? And they somehow stay in the cave for a while, and Tom miraculously gets them away, but just before that, he sees the sign of the cross. It's like, I know about Injun Joe's treasure. I'm gonna go find it later, but right now, let's just escape this lunatic. As that happens, and then, like, 2 weeks pass. Next thing that I clearly remember is that 2 weeks pass after the incident happens, and it so happens that this happens. The mayor tell a guy of the leader of the village is like, hey, I shut the door with, like, triple iron gates, like, 2 weeks ago. Right after you did, so, and I have the keys to it, it's triple locked, and I'm the only one with the keys to it, and it's been locked right out, and Tom's horrified, and I'm like, well, why are you so horrified, you're so white, spray him with water, and they splash him with cold water. It's like, okay, what's the matter, boy, what's the matter? Injun Joe's in the cave! They go unlock the cage, they go unlock the doors really quickly, and the saddest thing they've ever seen, they see Injun Joe's body, which is dead of starvation. I guess they would have originally hanged him, but now that they accidentally starved him to death, he got the punishment he deserved. Also, they kind of believe in ghosts. The ghost of Injun Joe's here, and yeah, and it's haunting the cave. Like, ooh. And then Tom goes back home thinking like that he did the murdering things. Like that happened like the previous chapter. His aunt is like, yeah, it's okay, it's good, it's okay. You just forget it. He forgot it. He finally found out. He testified in Potter's court about he has an actual witness towards the thing. People start he did say an oath with someone else, with another witness, and he had to break the oath just because of the stupid trial thing. So that happens, and finally one day he was thinking of the treasure of Injun Joe's treasure, and he's like, aha, I think I know where it is. And so he calls Huck. Huck's like, not buying it at first, like, is this real or is it just another scam? And he's like, it's real, all right, I know where the treasure is. So they go back to the cave, which is very fortunately unlocked because it's unlocked. And they go in the cave and they go searching around it while they're half terrified about it. And they're like, well, what if Injun Joe's haunting this very room? It's like, he won't haunt this room. He's right there, but what if he does? And like, they're starting to get creeped out. And they're like, wait, there's a cross here. Ghosts don't go near crosses. It'll kill them. And they're like, oh, right. Huck's like, oh, right. So his mood goes down. That happens. And then they literally find the place where they store the treasure. Later, they go back home and say, Huck doesn't need that allowance. He's rich. And everyone thought it's a joke at first. And then when they realize that Tom is actually real, that they actually found money, and like half of it's mine, half of it's Huck's, they count the money, and it amounts to over $12,000. Meaning they each have about $6,000 each. They're rich. They struck it rich. And this kind of inspires other people to go ahead with treasure hunting. At least their first few weeks as a pirate is a success. They find buried treasure already. Yay! That happens, and they have an allowance of $1 a day for several years, which is like what the mayor gets. That's the mayor's salary. They're as rich as the mayor. Wow! Except the mayor gets to have that allowance for like a longer time. And Huck is adopted by the widow, and the widow tries to civilize him, making him like eat with forks and knives and stuff, while he like hates those things. And then later, Tom decides like, hey, I'm not buying this thing, and like I'm not buying this. I'm just gonna go home and not be civilized. However, he goes home, he makes up like a robbers gang. His pirate life wears out, and then Huck runs away, and then Tom finds him in an abandoned slaughterhouse, and he's like, okay, you can join my gang if, because he knows Huck wants to join his robbers gang. You can join my gang if you like stay civilized for like at least a month at the widow's place. I was like, sure, I'll do that. And so that happens, and that's where the story ends. That's where the conclusion is. The conclusion is, let me read the conclusion. It's a very short one. So, end of the chronicle, it being strictly in the history of a boy. It must stop here. The story cannot go much further without becoming the history of a man. When one writes a novel about grown people, he knows exactly where to stop. That is, for marriage. When he writes of juveniles, he must stop where he best can. Most of the characters that perform in this book still live and are prosperous and happy. Someday, it may seem worthwhile to take up the story of the younger ones again and see what sort of men and women they turned out to be. Therefore, it will be wisest not to reveal any of that part of their lives at present. The end. He did intentionally try to write a sequel to this book, but it wasn't finished, and so the uncompleted one was published like a few decades later by a different publisher. And that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode of Hanson John. See you guys soon. Now, peace.